Your best bet would be to leave Jade Maiden Sisterhood as soon as possible. But where would I go? Nikki cried. She joined Jade Maiden Sisterhood when she was in her teens. After living with them for 8 years, the Jade Maiden Sisterhood was like a second home to her. If you don't have anywhere else to go, you can join us, Dustin answered frankly. Your brother was the guildmaster of Flame Dragon Guild when he was still alive. You can take over his position. See, can I? Nikki was doubtful. Of course, Dustin nodded. You're talented and more than capable of leading the guild. I'll also write the Jade Maiden scripture as a gift to celebrate your promotion. For female martial artists, the Jade Maiden scripture was a valuable martial arts asset to them. Mastering the technique in the scripture would make it possible for them to reach the level of grandmother. Thank you. Nikki sobbed gratefully. Everyone could tell that Dustin truly cared for Nikki. You should freshen up. I'll be holding a banquet for you tonight. It'll be a good opportunity for you to get closer to the gang's members. Dustin patted her shoulder and waved to female disciples over to help Nikki to her room. Aren't you being too nice to her, sir? Cornelius asked. I owe Nelson my life, so I should help her however I can. Dustin's eyes turned sad. I just hope she doesn't disappoint you. Cornelius was envious. Dustin didn't just save Nikki. He helped her escape from that hellhole and would give her the Jade Maiden scripture. He was even going as far as to pass her the position of guildmaster. There was no one as lucky as Nikki. If Cornelius were a woman, he would be throwing himself at Dustin by now. Night soon fell. Kirin Gang's executives sat together in Zephyr Lodge's ballroom, enjoying their drinks. All 5 of Kirin Gang's guildmasters were present. They were Cornelius from Darklaws, Nikki from Flame Dragon Guild, Alec Blanton of Charging Tiger Guild, Jim Kirk of Stonefur, and Joseph Bates from Slythorn. All 5 of them were now Dustin's most trusted subordinates, and each had their strengths. Cornelius was known for his fighting skills, Nikki for her abilities and potential, Alec for his brains, Jim for his honorable personality, and Joseph for his versatility. Dame Nikki, congratulations on joining Kirin Gang. I would like to offer you a toast. Dame Nikki, I greatly respect your brother and hope Flame Dragon Guild flourishes under your lead. I'm not good with words, Nikki, so I'll let my toast do the talking. The 4 guildmasters stood up and offered Nikki a toast. They knew that Dustin valued Flame Dragon Guild the most out of the 5 guilds, so they didn't dare to protest about Flame Dragon Guild's guildmaster being a woman. Thank you. Nikki forced a smile and lifted her glass in response. The room became much more lively after food and drinks were served, and everyone started getting a little tipsy. After drinking a few glasses, Joseph passed out and fell to the ground. Feft. Oh, Joseph, you always boasted about how good you are at drinking. I didn't expect you to be such a lightweight. Jem teased before passing out and falling to the floor. Geez, what are you guys doing? Don't stop now. Alec reached over and tried to shake them awake, but soon fell unconscious. Soon, most of Kirin Gang's guildmasters were knocked out. What Cornelius tried to stop his head from spinning, finally realizing something was wrong. Sir, we've been drugged. Well, you found out too late. Someone cackled as the doors were kicked open. Edith and the Jade Maiden Sisterhood disciples barged into the ballroom. Cornelius paled. He tried to stand up to fight but nearly tripped. He could only stand where he was and try to resist the effects of the drug. You guys sure are stubborn. Dustin frowned, pissed. I bet you didn't expect us to return. Edith walked in confidently. Security at Zephyr Lodge is tight. When did you put the drug? Cornelius growled. There were no outsiders today, and Kirin Gang members were constantly on the lookout. So the Jade Maiden Sisterhood shouldn't have had a chance to drug them. Well, I'll have to thank my darling disciple for that. Edith smirked and waved Nikki over. Well done, Nikki. I've decided to take you back in. Dustin and his men were shocked. Dustin stared at Nikki in disbelief from across the table. He couldn't believe that she had been the person who drugged them. Why is it you? Cornelius' widened eyes were full of dismay, confusion, and anger. He never imagined that the traitor would be Nikki, whom Dustin had treated so well. I'm sorry. Nikki looked away guiltily and kept her head down. Why, Dustin could only ask. Because of Nelson. Dustin treated Nikki like his sister and tried to do everything in her best interest. He even reined in his temper in front of Jade Maiden Sisterhood just to free her. So he never imagined that she would betray him in return. Jade Maiden Sisterhood is my home, and they are my family. I didn't have a choice. I'm sorry. Nikki apologized as she repeatedly shook her head. She felt guilty toward Dustin, but couldn't go against Edith and the Jade Maiden Sisterhood's wishes. I just don't get it. Why are you still so determined to stay when they mistreated you? Just why? Dustin's brows were furrowed. He couldn't understand why. Nikki would throw her pride away and serve people who treated her like trash. Nikki didn't know what to say, so she kept her head down and remained silent. What's the point of talking about that now? Edith sneered. Nikki is my disciple, and she belongs to Jade Maiden Sisterhood. Naturally, she should be helping me. You only have yourself to blame for being so naive. That's right. Serves you right for trusting women so readily. Edith's disciples jeered. Yeah, you're right. I was an idiot for believing a person I just met. Dustin smirked self-mockingly. Although Nelson had been loyal, it didn't mean that Nikki would be the same. Dustin had been too naive and stupid to believe that Nikki would come around if he treated her. Well, the reality turned out to be completely different. Nikki had drugged the Kieran gang to return to Jade Maiden Sisterhood's good graces despite. Dustin couldn't help feeling disappointed at how she repaid him. Your fates are in our hands now. You better hand the scripture over if you don't want to die. Edith threatened. I have it, Madam Edith. Please take a look at it. Nikki rushed over, took out the scripture, and offered it to Edith. It was the handwritten present Dustin gave her earlier at the table. Really? Edith took the scripture and began flipping through it before laughing excitedly. It is the Jade Maiden scripture. It even has records of the Drizzle Dance sword art. Well done. Edith beamed and praised Nikki. You've finally done a good job. I'll be sure to reward you once we're back. Thank you, Madam Edith. Nikki immediately perked up, her mood reflecting Edith's. What an idiot. Cornelius spat. Was Nikki a moron? She could have kept the scripture to herself and used it to her advantage instead of giving it away. I didn't expect you to treat my disciples so well. Brad, Edith waved the scripture smugly. You gave the thing I had been looking for so diligently away as a gift. I'm so touched I could cry. Unfortunately for you, it still ended up in my hands. Madam Edith, you finally obtained the scripture. Let's leave. Nikki forced a smile. Nikki couldn't bear to see anger in Dustin and the others' eyes and wanted to leave. There's no rush. The show's just begun. Edith sniggered. This bastard insulted us and hurt Brittany. There's no way I will let him off so easily. Dustin knew too many secrets, including the Jade Maiden scripture. Edith was determined to keep the information inside the scripture to herself. No one else could have it. So she must kill Dustin. Madam Edith, you promised me you wouldn't hurt him. Nikki suddenly felt uneasy. Although she had betrayed Dustin, she didn't want to see him hurt either. Really, I don't remember promising that, though. Edith feigned ignorance. Nikki, if blood makes you queasy, you can leave first. I won't blame you for that. Madam Edith, you wanted the scripture and have it now. Please let him go. Nikki begged, aware that Edith intended to kill Dustin. Nikki, you should know that you're a Jade Maiden Sisterhood disciple, so you should only be thinking of us. I'm happy with your achievements, so I'll teach you some Jade Maiden sword techniques after I've learned them. For now, you'll have to prove your loyalty in front of everyone. Edith grinned slyly. How? Nikki was taken aback. Kill that bastard for me. Edith pointed at Dustin, looking furious.